Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of After Scientology, Straight Up and Vertical. I am joined by Tony Ortega, who has been at the Los Angeles courthouse today. And boy, has there been some news today. So, Tony, take it away.
Well, Chris, today's day one, and you don't expect much to happen because it's jury selection. Judge Olmedo has a very simple process. She just gives them questionnaires and makes them leave. Didn't expect much.
Yep.
Two big surprises. First of all, Danny's got a new lawyer at the defense table. It's Sean Hawley. You remember, Sean Hawley's an original member of the O.J. Simpson Dream Team.
Yep.
And she had become a member of the defense team back in November 21, I think. No, I'm sorry, November 22. No, yes, November 21.
Wow.
A year before the trial. But then right before trial, she was involved in this Trevor Bauer, the LA Dodgers pitcher.
The baseball
arbitration baseball pitcher thing.
Yeah.
And she said she couldn't make it. And so Philip Cohen was instead joined by Karen Goldstein, who did a fine job, but she wasn't there today. It was Sean Hawley. So, Sean Hawley's got a much bigger reputation than Karen Goldstein. I don't know what this means for the case. I'm just, she's a kind of a superstar, and there she is. So that was very interesting. Another interesting thing, I'll get to the big news in a second.
Yep.
Was that defense attorney Philip Cohen is still trying to get the court to allow him to subpoena the documents of Kathleen Jenkins. She's the fifth accuser. She's a woman I wrote about that was up in Toronto, and he wants her documents. He hasn't tried. I don't think he's tried to do this with the other victims. And he had some interesting arguments today, but Judge Olmedo just said, no, you're not getting them.
Right.
What's the subpoena?
And if I could ask, because I saw the back and forth on that in the notes, and it was a little bit like, what's he digging for? Is there social media content or some other thing she's put out that would be relevant to this, or he's trying to bring it in some way?
Well, he didn't say anything about it today, but in a previous hearing, what he wanted to do was not only subpoena her, but also subpoena me. And I think what he's getting at is he wants to try to use my story to compare to what she told the police or something. And he's not gonna get it. He's not gonna get it.
Okay.
He can't haul me into court.
Right.
So I think that's what this is about. They didn't say it today, but that's what he said previously. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. I don't want to assume it has anything to do with my story, but that's what he said before. But whatever he was trying to get, he didn't get it. It was quashed. And so she'll get to testify and won't have to turn over her documents.
Okay,
but
good.
But during that discussion, at some point, Cohen held up a document and say, oh, here's our witness list. It's pretty much the same as last time.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Well, let's see. Let's find out about that, because last time he had, I think, three expert witnesses about stuff like toxicology and memory. And then he had Bree Schaefer, who was Danny Masterson's assistant, close friend. And what was odd was, if you remember in the first trial, Bree Schaefer was on both the prosecution and defense witness lists and ended up not getting called by either one of them. So she's, that's what their list was before. Well, I spoke up in court. I'm actually not supposed to, but the judge took mercy on me. And I said, hey, Mr. Cohen mentioned this defense witness list. Can I get a copy? And she said, yeah, I think the clerk can get it to the PIO office. Then I had to go downstairs and wait in a line. Oh, whatever. But I got it, Chris.
Yep.
And sure enough, it's the three experts and Bree Schaefer, but there's another name.
Right. And let me before you reveal now, this was not on their witness list before.
Not in the first trial, no.
Right. Okay. This is new.
Yeah. The name was Hugh Martin Witt. And I admit I didn't ring a bell with me initially, but it was obvious they were calling him as their Scientology expert. Right. So the first surprise was, oh, wow, they're going to counter Claire Headley, who is the prosecution's Scientology expert, with their own Scientology expert.
Yep.
Okay, that's interesting. I better look up who this guy is. And then it dawned on me, this is Claire's father.
Boom. Like, what? When I saw that, that's exactly the face I was making. My jaw hit the ground. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
But you know what? The first moment is shock. The second moment is Miscavige. This has to be David Miscavige, don't you think, Chris?
Absolutely. This is fair gaming from the stand. That's
oh my God.
Right? I mean, how could this be anything but to have that? There's 1,000 people they could call as expert witnesses to testify on behalf of Scientology, and they just happen to choose her father.
And why would he be willing? Because David Miscavige is telling him to.
Exactly. And this really gets to the heart of the awful at Scientology, because they will go for the jugular every time, right? We always say it's always worse than you think, right? Well, here's an example. And I said this morning when Sean Hawley and you tweeted about, you had said that there was this, here's the first surprise. And I was like, there's going to be more. I didn't expect it in the same damn day. I mean, this is pretty low even for Scientology. I mean, because what is the jury going to think? How is this going to, because there's no way the jury's not going to find out about this relationship. And what are they going to make out of that? It's an attempt to nullify Claire, nullify the testimony. It's just so low.
Incredible. Yeah. I mean, it changes the whole flavor of the trial. It's right. Cohen was doing everything he could to keep Scientology out. Now he's going with both barrels on a full-on Scientology slugfest.
That's right. And we can't necessarily predict right now. We don't even have the jury selected, but we certainly can't predict what they're going to make out of this. So I know what I'm making out of it, but that doesn't necessarily, these are going to be people who are going to be vetted for no background in Scientology, no bias on Scientology. So they're going to look at this and go, what the hell is this?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. It's going to take a while to let this percolate, but
yeah. I am definitely, I mean, it's, obviously Claire's going to do a championship job. She's composed. She's definitely used to pressure. She is definitely somebody who knows what she's talking about when it comes to Scientology, and never had any questions about that. But this is going to, run right into the face of a lot of that with this, with her own father coming out and going, yeah, well, guess what? It's everything she said is wrong. I mean, Jesus, so.
Wow.
Guess we're going to see how this rolls out. And this is just day one. Day one, man. Wow. We don't even have a jury yet. Now, schedule wise, you had said, okay, so it looks like by Wednesday, they're going to have all the jury kind of indoctrinated or whatever, kind of, questionnaire. And then she wants to have everything kind of settled by the end of the week and get into arguments next week. Yeah.
She wants to do her own questioning of jurors on Wednesday. She wants the attorneys to do their voir dire, their questioning of attorneys on Thursday, and she wants a jury seated by Thursday afternoon, so then they can take Friday off to prepare and start with opening statements on Monday.
Got it.
That's what she wants, and she's kind of telling the jurors, she's telling both attorneys that they're going to have more time to question the jurors this time, but she still wants to limit it because, she thinks that would be a good setup to have a Friday off and then Monday start with the opening statement. So that's the plan.
All right.
And it's complicating things a little bit as she's handling this 4-defendant, 30-count Mexican mafia murder trial right now. And they're in deliberations, and they had a read back today, and hopefully that won't slow things down too much. But that was quite a contrast. See those guys come in and then Danny come in. But another small note that I forgot to mention on my report, and that was, I guess it's just I didn't make a point of it, and that is it was just Danny today. Not only did he not have any family members, but during jury selection last time, in jury selection, they have so many potential jurors in the room. They don't, I'm supposed to be the only reporter. There's only one other that showed up. and the Danny Masterson's family is only supposed to bring one person. So last time he just had like his brother one day and a close friend of his one day. Today, nobody. It was just Danny, the two attorneys, their paralegal, and I think there was a PR person for one of the attorneys. That's it.
Interesting.
So no Bijou, no Christopher, no Jordan, nothing. Um,
Interesting.
and the other small difference was that, remember, the first trial on this the first days, they actually introduce the players to the potential jurors. This is Cohen stands up, says, "I'm Philip Cohen. This is my co-counsel." And last time when he said, "This is who I'm representing, Danny Masterson," he's like, "Good morning, everybody," something like that, real robust, and it got a big "good morning" from the whole room. And I had several attorneys telling me that was questionable, but this time all he did was this.
Right. Right.
He
Keeping it a
just
little low
he
key.
didn't say a word both times he was introduced to the two separate groups of potential jurors. So I don't know
Right.
what that says, but little slight differences here and there make it interesting.
It does, and of course it's day one, so we have no pattern yet to look at in terms of what they're trying to play at in terms of how they're presenting the defense. But obviously, image is everything, even on day one. And so I noted, clean shaven, and Cohen dresses down a little bit today, and that kind of thing. And it's like, okay, noted.
Right.
Kind of we'll see where they go with this. But we know with Sean Hawley on that this is a very PR conscious defense team. Maybe more so than even just Cohen with what he was doing before. What do you think?
I can't help wondering, what does this mean for cross-examination when it comes to Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2, Jane Doe 3? Is it Cohen going to be cross-examining again, or is Hawley going to be doing something of it? Are they going to take turns?
Right.
I mean, you don't pay for somebody like Sean Hawley without that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's we'll see.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say a word. I just want to say that I'm really grateful to the court. The court actually reached out to me and asked if I would be the pool reporter during jury selection. They want one reporter in there because there's all these potential jurors. There's not enough seats. And they put out an advisory and asked other reporters, if you want a report from Tony Ortega, email him. And I got about 20 reporters who emailed me, and immediately sent them my reports today, and they all got it. So that was fun. I mean, I had to be on my toes. I didn't want to make sure I want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
And but otherwise, I mean, the other big difference is, I mean, Megan Cuniff came in for a few minutes. It was great to see her. She's doing such great work here at the courthouse. But other than that, I didn't see any reporters at all.
Interesting.
I'm sure it'll pick up next week.
Right.
And once they get going with testimony, especially with, wow, these new additions. Amazing.
Yeah, I think today's report's going to definitely raise a few eyebrows. If I might ask, just because I don't totally understand the process, I looked into it a little bit in terms of what a pool journalist, what that pool reporter role is. So you're there, you're distributing the information for others so they pick up and they don't all have to be in the room at the same time.
Right.
How does that last through the whole trial? It's going to be that way, or are you expecting more company?
Just during jury selection when there's limited seating.
Okay. Okay.
And also not that much is going on. So
Right.
I'm sending, like I said, about 20 journalists emailed me, and I sent my reports to all of them. And I don't even know if they're going to write any stories this week. There's just not a whole lot going on for like the mainstream press.
Right.
But once jury selection is done, they'll open it up to everybody, and then we'll probably have 9 or 10 reporters in the back row with me while we're doing the actual testimony. And then I'll just, I won't be sharing my stuff with them. I mean, they'll see my reports on Substack, but
Right. Okay, fair enough. Well, the only other comment I had to make, just because it was so kind of interesting to me, was this other case that Jojo Mato is overseeing right now, is this Mexican mafia case. And I went, those aren't as disrelated as you might first imagine. Mafia and Scientology, but Just had to throw that out there. I mean, I don't know if anybody's particularly noticed, but Scientology is structured exactly like the goddamn mafia. So it's kind of a thing, you know. All right. Well, thank you very much, Tony, for your reporting today on this. And of course, we will connect up again at the end of the week and see where we stand on this. I am not going to try to do a daily thing on this. That's
Okay.
not
Okay.
not my deal. But
Okay.
but I'm always open to, if something happens that we really need to talk about and get out there, you know, let's do it. So
Sounds good. Sounds good.
all right. So folks out there, thanks for coming around and watching. That was our report for this week. Subscribe to Tony's Substack. It's definitely worth it. And of course, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.